has been battled out for at least 20 years. I'm going to leave that to the experts in the area. I don't have a particular expertise in that. I think it's, frankly, every county's got to work that out and figure out how they're going to do it themselves with it. But it's not something that I pretend to be an expert on.
Mrs. Riggs' comment suggests, it's not just an issue dealing with larger socioeconomic problems. Since all teenagers sort of struggle and are maybe vulnerable, in that case it seems that because it was available, it was offered to her without knowing more of the facts. So it seems to kind of go back to the supply issue. So in addition to trying to raise people's awareness and educate their kids and so forth, and high school forums and this kind of thing, what about the supply issue? Has it become more readily and cheaply available than it was 10 years ago?
And I didn't mean to denigrate the supply problem. It's a demand problem, it's a supply problem, it certainly is both. And we have to attack it from both points of view. We're significantly increasing today our resources in the Attorney General's office. And for the first time, we're going to have a separate, I don't think BCI's ever had a unit that's focused specifically on heroin. We're going to have a specific unit on heroin, and it's going to be tied in, not just at BCI, it's going to be tied into our special prosecution unit and at the Attorney General's office, and it's going to be tied in to our prevention unit with Jennifer heads up. So they're going to be meeting together, and we're going to try to integrate this here. But yeah, I think that what we're seeing is entrepreneurs who are really good at this, and they're good at selling it, and their business model, at least in part of the state, is to go into the suburbs more. That's where the money is. That's where less danger is. And that's, I want to be clear, that's not the model everywhere in Ohio, but in certain parts of the state, that's been a fundamental change. They're coming out of Mexico. Most of these individuals who are doing this are illegals. In some communities, they are passing the drugs off to the local drug dealers, the classic local drug dealers. In other communities, frankly, they're selling it themselves. I mean, they're just going in and doing it. So, I met last week with FBI, DEA, specifically, and local law enforcement, and some of our team specifically to talk about the heroin problem. Again, compare notes. We work with them all the time, but I wanted to do it myself. I want to sit in the meeting. We did that. But yeah, it's a huge problem. These guys who are selling it are really good, and as I said, we're significantly beefing up our efforts today in the Attorney General's office to go after it.
General, you said that you're significantly increasing the resources. Could you give us a dollar amount and number of people who you're putting into the effort?
Yeah, I'll give you a rough figure. It's probably going to be $1 million a year.
Added or for that department?
Added.
Okay. Where is that coming from?
We're going to have to find it in the budget. But look, no one, we've known this has been a problem. When we saw, I don't know anybody that's gone out before and tried to get every corner in every county and looked at it statewide. When we saw these numbers and know now when you get to 13 that we're going like this, and when you take this number, and you know it's only a partial number because it's only 3/4 of the state, it's 606. So you know it's high. You know it's higher than that. You can extrapolate. You guys can do the math. If every county is consistent with that, that would be 800. And that's probably the truer figure. And then if you take the number of deaths that are indirectly caused by it, you can double that, so that puts you up to 1,600. Again, those are rough figures, but that gives you a rough idea at 1,600. And it's huge, and you cannot go into any community. I mean, literally, if people watch this or read what you write and they think it's not in their community, they're wrong. It's in their community. Now, some communities may be worse. Some counties may be worse. Some counties may have skirted it somewhat. But there's someone in that county taking, who's addicted to heroin. I'll absolutely guarantee you.